Well, hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to my workshop. Now, it's been a little while since I've been in the workshop, and if you've been watching my series on creating a nylon acoustic guitar, you'll know I'm about halfway through that project, and I've sort of put it on hold because we're in the middle of the winter and it gets very cold and sort of damp in this workshop, so I can't really do anything with that acoustic guitar. I've actually got it in my studio over the winter so that the wood can dry out a little bit, and if there's any movement then I can make some changes. So I thought today I would have a go at a little project that I've been wanting to do for some time. Now I need to take you back a little bit to the time when I started this channel, about 2019, and that was because I came up with an idea to build travel guitars. This was a guitar that I could take away with me if I went on holiday or if I was travelling anywhere, and it was sort of an all-round guitar in that it had got a piezo pickup under the bridge to give me an acoustic sound. It had got a humbucker by the bridge to give me a nice rocky sound, and this a single coil by the neck to give a more jazzy, soft, rounded sound. And in order to achieve this, I needed to build a preamp. Now then, I found the design of a preamp in a post by a gentleman called Donald Tillman, and he was using a JFET transistor to create what was effectively the preamp stage of a Fender amp, that sort of style, and use it to power piezo pickups or electric pickups. Now then, I took his design and using a breadboard mocked up some various options to try and get the best tone I could. And eventually I found a combination of components, purely probably by accident, that came up with a nice sound. And I built that preamp and I installed it in my travel guitars and also in this guitar, the Kingfisher guitar, because this has a piezo pickup under the bridge and it's got hidden pickups which need to be amplified. Now then, a gentleman commented on my channel, a gentleman by the name of Rick, and said, "Dave, I noticed you using stripboard to put that amp together. Why don't you make a PCB?" And I went back to him and said, "Well, thank you very much, but I've no idea how you make a printed circuit board." And he said, "Dave, I'll do that for you." So earlier this year, I got back in contact with Rick. So we exchanged a number of emails where Rick asked me a few questions about how the preamp should be configured and what I was trying to achieve. And he came up with a brand new circuit design, still based on the JFET transistor, but with a number of other components to really balance the circuit. And he came up with the design for a printed circuit board. Well, this was absolutely amazing. So, taking that design, I said to him, "Well, okay, this is great. How do we make a printed circuit board?" So he explained that basically you need a set of files, Gerber files, and these are then sent off to a printed circuit board maker, and lo and behold, you get a printed circuit board back. So he sent me the Gerber files, he sent me a link to a place that does printed circuit boards, and I sent off for 5 printed circuit boards at a cost of $2 plus postage, which I think was about £5 UK in total. I couldn't believe it. And lo and behold, about a month later, the circuit boards arrived. Now, these are still in the sort of prototype stage, and Rick has asked me to sort of try them and see how I get on with them, and he can make any modifications. But I have to say, as soon as they arrived, I was in this workshop soldering up components and testing them. Okay, so to give you a quick demo of the sound of this amplifier, let's switch it on. So first of all, this is the piezo pickup up there on the bridge there. So it's a lovely tone. Now then, if I just switch it to this neck pickup, so this is the tone without the preamp and with the preamp. And I've got the gain up a bit because I just love that crunch that you get with it. Beautiful sound, beautiful sound. And again, if I do the humbucker, beautiful. And without the preamp, now back to the reason for this video. When I made this guitar, I needed a preamp in it because I've got a piezo pickup under the bridge and I've got two humbuckers hidden in the body which are movable, and they need amplification because they're obviously too far away from the strings. The problem with this guitar is that it's too complicated. I've got wires going all over the place. The fact there's two pickups in there is a bit overkill because the pickups are a long way away from the strings, and so there isn't a clear definition between what would be the bridge pickup and the neck pickup. And also the whole point of this guitar is that you can move the pickup. So I've thought about this, and I think what I should do is take one of the pickups out and simplify the wiring, and in doing that also replace my preamp with the one that Rick has designed for me. One of the modifications I needed to make on this guitar was to add an on-off switch. Now I should not have needed to do that because plugging the jack plug in there switches the preamp on, but because the wiring is so complicated, there was a leak somewhere. The power was leaking out. I could never find it, so I had to put this switch in just to kill the power. But I think if I simplify the circuit, then there'll be no need for that switch. But we'll see. I may just leave it in just as a sort of belt and braces. Now, before I take this out, what I need to do is to make sure that the pickups are both as far up the end there as they possibly can be, and to do that I need to effectively unwind them. I think that might be it. We'll soon find out. This is where it gets fiddly. Now you can see one of the complications here is this connector that I had to create to put the wires through to all the controls and the output jack, and as you can see it's all looking at like a bit of a mess here. I'll just unplug that. Problem is the wires get caught. There we go. Whew. Right, so there's the two humbuckers, and on the back there is the mechanism that allows them to move. So we'll have a look at that in a minute. Now, in terms of the controls, as I explained, one of these is a rotary selector switch to select between the pickups. If I've only got two pickups, effectively the piezo and one humbucker, I don't need a selector switch. What I could do is put two volume controls in, and that would allow me to blend between the two pickups And I think that's what I'm going to do. I have to be honest, this is a job that I've been putting off because I know it's not an easy thing to do, and getting these controls in was an absolute nightmare in the first place because there is no access panel. Everything's got to go in through the end there, but I think it's worthwhile doing it. This was always going to be an experimental guitar. I also had problems with fitting these controls in that I'd put a brace right underneath here, and it just got in the way of this control. Right, that's the controls done. Now I need to get this jack socket disconnected. And I'm hoping that I can pull that through. A bit of luck, this should all come through the hole there. This could take a while, I'll be back in a minute. Right, I've managed to get it out. I've just had a cup of tea to warm up because it's freezing in here. Now there's a couple of wires that I need to make sure I don't lose, and that one of them is that one there, which is the earth. Now that's connected to the jack, so I'm going to snip it because I think I'm going to have to redo all this wiring. It's just all a bit of a mess. Okay, so first things first, let's sort out these pickups. Now if you didn't see the video where I made this, the idea is that these pickups will move along this platform here, and to do that I've got an Allen key and I've got these bolts with Allen heads on them. Basically, to move a pickup, it's a question of just screwing the bolt, and as you can see, I hope you can see, that's moving that pickup along. Here we go, let's go. I always forgot which one did which pickup, which bolt did which pickup, but there we are, moving what was the bridge pickup. Now I think I'm going to take this bridge pickup off because, as I said, because the strings are much higher above the pickup, you don't get the resolution you get when it's really low down, and so you do get a much more sort of open tone, more like an acoustic sounding guitar, to be perfectly honest with you. So let me get rid of this movable pickup here. Okay, I've slid that out of the way, so that piece has come off. I can get that back on in a minute. I think I need to get the soldering iron out now. Let's remove this battery as well. Right, first things first, I've got to take all of this apart. So I'm going to just unsolder all of these connections. It really is a bit of a spaghetti here, and that really isn't going to help anything. Right, so I've cleared all the old components off. I've screwed the battery box back on. Now I'm thinking that the amp would be better placed there rather than where it was before, which was right back up here. Basically, because there's a couple of trim pots there, I can adjust the gain of the amp on, and if I put it nearer the end there, it doesn't mean I have to pull the thing out too far to adjust it. So I think what I'll do is I'll mark some holes there, and of course now I was going to say I don't have anything there, but I do. I've got to be a bit careful because I've got that bolt there, but I think I should be all right. So after a couple of hours of rather fiddly soldering, I've got the piezo circuit working. So let me show you. We've got the piezo pickup coming in to this little socket here. That goes into the piezo input on the preamp here, and I've got the volume control, which is this connector here, connected to this pot here. So that's got the volume control. I've got it all plugged into my amp. A bit out of tune, but there we are. I can control the volume on that. I've also got the ability to adjust the gain, so let's just try that. That really overdrives that, so I'll just roll that back a bit. So now what I need to do, I've wired up the electric pickup there to the electric pickup input. I've just got to deal with the pot for that. Well, it's a new day and I've spent the morning doing a bit more soldering, so let me show you how far I've got. Well, I've now wired in the electric pickup. You will notice that these pots are slightly different sizes. They are exactly the same value, but it's what I've got laying around. Anyway, switch that on, and if I tap the pickup, there we are, we've got a sound. If I turn it down, we've got nothing. So this is looking promising. All we've got to do now is get this lot back in this guitar, and to do that, I'll just get that wire out of the way. I've got some string, so I'm going to attach the pots to the string and we can pull them through. Well, after a lot of fiddling, I've got both knobs in, so time for another test. Switch the amp on. Right. Have to be honest, it's not sounding good. Right, where's the so pick up? There it is. There, plug that in. Well, that's working. The electric one seems to have died for some reason. Okay, let's see what's gone wrong. Well, ladies and gentlemen, it's a new day, and oh my goodness, what a disaster I had yesterday. I spent a whole day trying to get this board into the guitar, and when I did manage to get it in, nothing worked. The whole lot. Well, I don't know. I mean, I'd created more spaghetti wiring. I'd put the circuit board in the wrong place because there's not much room in this guitar, and there was a reason why the circuit board was where it was. I don't know. Anyway, I've come out this morning and I'm determined to get this sorted. Now then, my first mistake was putting the printed circuit board there, because when you get it into the guitar, there's a lip there. The whole lot has to lift up and it just would not go in underneath that lip, so that was a no-no. The next problem was the wires kept coming off these pots. I got them in to the guitar and then the wires came off, so I had to bring them out again, and in doing that I managed to break this one, so they're out the window. I ended up with a load of spaghetti wiring, as you saw, and to top it all off, when I did manage to get it all in, the preamp for the electric pickup wasn't working, and I couldn't work out what it was. This morning I've had a real good look at it, and there was just a couple of dry joints on this printed circuit board where my soldering wasn't up to scratch. I fixed that. I found some decent wiring for these pots. I've got two new pots. I say new pots, they're old pots, but I've got them wired up, so they seem to be okay. I've extended the wiring on the jack socket, so I've got plenty of room to get it in there. It's not quite so much spaghetti now. I'm going to have another go at getting these in. I'm not going to bore you with that. I'm going to come back in a bit. You join me 2 hours on from that previous clip. I've got all the pots in, I've got the socket in. I've just discovered I've actually wired up one of the pots wrong at this end, so I'm waiting for the soldering iron to warm up. I'm hoping once I've done this I'm going to be finished and it'll work. Oh my goodness me. So this wire is in the wrong way, so the red one should be on the end. Actually, I'm going to do the black one first because otherwise it's going to be a fiddle to get it in. I can't tell you how fiddly this is. Okay, I've got the amplifier switched on because I want to make sure it's still working when I'm pushing it in. We've got that caught somewhere. Yeah. Oh. My advice is don't try this. At last, at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, I think I have this all wired up. Oh, dear me, what a job. Right, let's see if it works. So first of all, the electric pickup, and I have moved this pickup along. I have to put a washer on so I can see where the actual pickup is when I move it, but I've moved it right up close to the neck here. So I've got a nice tone there, and I've also now got the piezo pickup. And I can now blend the two. And I've adjusted the gain so they're sort of balanced. Just brings a little bit of the sort of the top end in when I bring in the piezo. Well, this was supposed to be a quick project. It's taken a bit longer, 3 days worth. I'm not going to be taking this apart anytime soon, but yeah, I've got it, and I think it's much better than it was. The volume I'm getting from the electric pickup is much better than I got before, and the same with the piezo pickup there. This new amplifier that Rick has helped me design has done absolute wonders. Now then, Rick is also a really clever guitar builder, and I did feature one of his guitars, a Rickocaster, and I'm going to put a link to that guitar feature down in the description below, so go along and have a look at that. It's a 12-string Rickenbacker, brilliant guitar, wonderful. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. Now I'm going to be taking a break for the next few weeks, just while the winter washes over us, and I'll be back in the new year to finish that acoustic guitar. And I'm working on some exciting music, and I'm collaborating with some wonderful people to produce a fantastic backing track for the final video for that. So it's going to be really exciting. Well, look, it's that time of year. I do hope you managed to get a great break over the holidays and spend some time with your family. Thank you very much for watching me during the year. It's really appreciated, and all your comments are appreciated. Well, until next year, stay safe. Cheers.